So Alcaraz and Nikola Milojevic, they're playing against each other in the first round. That they're playing tomorrow, and I'm going to be predicting this match. So we're gonna start with Alcaraz in terms of that. We're gonna go through his results, and then after that we're gonna go through the other players. So he's a great young player that would definitely do well in the future. So far, he has had some good results. He got a top 10 win over David Goffin in the Great Ocean Road Open, and then he also did well in some in the Australian Open. He qualified for the main draw, and he was able to make it to the second round when he lost to a fellow Nigerian player, Yimmer, in straight. But he still did pretty well, and he's definitely going to do well in the future. We just have to keep an eye on him because now he's back on clay, and so far, clay is considered his best surface. Most times, Spaniards grew up on clay, so for him, clay is considered one of his best surfaces. So we're going to just wait and see what's going to happen with him now. Now, Nikola Milojevic, he's played in several challenger events. He hasn't really played in main draws. He didn't qualify for the Australian Open. He attempted to. He didn't. But in the French Open last year, he did beat Krajinovic in 4 sets before losing to Bidini in another 4-set match. So he did play well last year at Roland Garros. He qualified. He beat Krajinovic for a good win. And he's also, I think, done well in some challenger events. He made the semifinals of a challenger event in Spain, and then in a challenger in Croatia in Zadar, he made the final, and he won that challenger event. So he's had some steady good results at challenger events lately, which is good, especially because a lot of them are on clay, and on the clay it's looking like he plays well on clay, so we just have to wait and see what happens. So now, Alcaraz and Milojevic, they've never met, so they have a head-to-head of 0. So now let's do my prediction here. And my prediction for this one, this one's actually a tough one to call because, as I've said, Milojevic, he's had some good results in challenger events lately, and Alcaraz is also a great young player. But I'm going to go with Alcaraz. I'm going to go with the youngster power this time to win this, because I think that Alcaraz, he's back on the clay. I think that he's good on clay as well, and I think that he's in Spain, so he grows up on clay, so he knows how to train on clay as well. So I'm gonna pick Alcaraz to win this one. I'm gonna pick him to win this one in 3 sets. I think that Milojevic will take a set, I believe, but I think that Alcaraz will win it in 3 sets and move on to the second round. So that's my pick. So Alcaraz in 3 is my pick here. So Joe Munar and Henry Laxton, they're facing off in the first round of the Andalucia Open. So as I've said in a lot of previous videos, the Andalucia Open is a new tournament that was organized in an effort to make up for a lot of the tournament cancellations because of the COVID pandemic that started last year and this year. They've been adding a bunch of new tournaments as a result so that they can make up for the ones that kind of were lost due to COVID. So this one is one of them. So this is a new tournament along with Sardinia. Although Sardinia is not a new tournament, it's one that happened last year, was new last year, but it's gone. I think it got a new license. It got a renewed license. So now it actually is having a second edition of it. This one, though, I'm predicting is the first edition, and just so that you all know, I'm going to be predicting the matches for both of the tournaments this week. So just to let you know, a heads up for that. Now, anyways, let's start with the prediction here. Let's start with the prediction. So Munar, he's had a decent year this year, I would say, because he's much better, I would say, on the clay courts than he is on the hard court. He's had some solid results at challenger events, like he's won a challenger in Turkey. He won back-to-back challenger events in Turkey, in Cordoba. Maybe he didn't do so well, but he did well in Argentina. He lost to Schwartzman in straight sets, but he did do pretty well. In Chile, maybe, he did lose to Del Bonis, but there's no shame because Del Bonis is a great clay court player, so losing to him isn't so bad. And as I said in one of my other videos, he was in the final of the Challenger in Spain, but he lost to Major in 3 sets. But he did make the Challenger event, and now he's playing against Laaksonen, and Laaksonen is also good on clay, so we're gonna see what can happen here. Now, Laaksonen, the Swiss, he qualified for this event. He had to win 2 matches to qualify for this event, and he hasn't had the best of year this year because he hasn't done so well in challengers. Although he did reach a semi in a challenger in Kazakhstan, but he hasn't done so well other than that. The only place I would say he did well that was notable is that he did make the first round of the Australian Open, and then he lost to Caruso in 3 sets. But so he has had some good results this year, maybe not as good as maybe he would have wanted. Now, let's go through the head-to-head. So they've not met any times officially, but they did meet last year in a hardcourt challenger, so it won't have as much effect on this because this is a clay court event. But Menard won that one in straight sets 6-3, 6-3. So right now, this match is actually a tough one to call because both of them are solid on the clay courts. But I'm going to side with Menard. I think that the Menard are just better on the clay, especially Spaniards that I've said a lot of times. They grew up on clay. And I'm going to side with him to win this in a tight 3 set. I think it's going to go 3 sets because his Swiss opponent is also really good on clay. But I'm going to side with Menard to get the win in 3 sets. My pick is Menard in 3 sets. So Martinez and Zapata Miralles, they're facing off in the first round of this event. Now, I don't know how to pronounce her name, so bear with me on this. But Martinez, let's start with him. He's had a good start to the year. He did score, I would say, a rare hardcourt win because he did do well in he did do well in the Great Ocean Road Open. He beat Basilashvili in straight sets. He won against Yannick Hanfmann, and then he lost to Thompson in straight sets. But that was a good win for him because Basilashvili is a great player at his best, and even if he was not in his best form at that time, it was still a good win because he was able to make, I guess, a deep run for a clay quarter because he's better on the clay, but he still did well there. He participated in all tournaments of the Golden Swing, so he didn't do so well in Cordoba. He didn't qualify. In Argentina, he didn't qualify, and in Chile, he also didn't qualify. So it's not he wasn't able to qualify for all the tournaments of the Golden Swing. And in Miami, he also didn't qualify either. But in the Challenger in Spain that is happening in Andalusia, in the same place that the Andalucia Open is happening, he did reach the semifinals, and he did run Menard close, although he lost in straight there, but it was a close match, so he did play decently. And then also in the Australian Open, he also managed to qualify with good wins, although he lost to the Czech Mashak in 4 sets. He had to withdraw from the match against his first round opponent, so that was a shame. But he has had a decent year this year, but we'll see, especially in the Challenger event that was just recent. He did well and he made a semi, so we'll see if he can carry some of the form he showed in that event maybe into this event. Now, his opponent has also had some good wins this year. He competed in several challenger events this year. A couple of them were on hard courts, a couple of them were on clay courts. In the Australian Open, he didn't do so well. He didn't even win a qualifying round. He lost in the first round of qualifying. But in the Challenger in France, he didn't make the final. He lost to Nakashima in straight set, but he made the final still. And then at the Open Suit de France, he did qualify for it, although he lost to Davidovich Fokina. He took a set though, which was impressive, over a much higher ranked player. And then in Dubai, he managed to qualify for it. He beat Millman in straight, which was impressive because Millman is a way higher ranked player, and not only that, Millman is also a great player on hard courts and is also, very dangerous when he's at his best, as an evident over his Federer defeats he's had. So he's always a dangerous player. So it was a good win for the Spaniard to be able to win it in straight at 6-4, 6-4. And he lost to Senegal, but even though he's had some good wins this year too. So that's a good sign for him, because he can definitely win this match if he's at his best. Now Martinez and his opponent, they've not met on the Challenger Tour ever. They've never met on the Challenger Tour, but they did meet once in a qualifying event, which was in Spain in 2019, and it was Marias that won that one, 7-6, 6-4. But now they've evolved. It's going to be, that may not be of much relevance to now, although it was on clay, so I can take some stock from that. So actually, I know before I said it doesn't matter, but I think it does matter now. And actually, I'm going to go, due to the head-to-head lead, I'm going to go with Marias to win this one in 3 sets, because I think he has the head-to-head win. I think as a result, he will kind of take confidence from that. I think that he knows how to beat his opponent. So I'm gonna pick him to win against his fellow opponent in 3 sets, because he's had some good wins so far. So my pick here is him in 3 sets. I'm gonna pick Marias to win this one in a 3-set match. So my pick is him in 3.